that main interruption caused this amazing new life for me. I was like 52 when I felt like my life was over. And once I found sound therapy, my entire life changed. And what I love about sound is I am never bored. I am in such wonder and awe.
Has your life, your dreams been interrupted? Good news. It is possible to reinvent our lives. People are doing it every day, and some are brave enough to share the struggles, disappointments, and challenges. If you are looking for a new beginning, a do-over, or to rediscover your passion, maybe even find a new one, then grab a cup of coffee and let's talk. Interrupted, Act 2, Reinventing Your Legacy, with your host, Coach Lori.
SueZee Finley is the founder of Acoustic Therapeutics. I love this so much. Frequency Fun Shops. She's a podcast host, and she's bringing peace and harmony, helping people not find joy, but tune into joy. Welcome.
Perfect. Thank you so much for having me here.
Oh, I'm so excited to talk about lupus, about healing, about, I want to say, is it tone, music? Music, as someone who worked as a DJ for years, music is life-changing, but also tone and vibration of all of that is part of what is so fantastic about it. It's not just the words and lyrics. And so tell us what you do and what you love about it.
Okay, what I love about it is the easiest and most fun way to stay healthy. And if you can just do one thing a day to make yourself super healthy, it's to hum. If you hum every morning for like 5 minutes and 5 minutes before you go to bed at night, humming relaxes your entire nervous system. It releases a molecule called nitric oxide, which is a vasodilator, and lowers your blood pressure because it opens up your cardiovascular system. It's the healthiest thing to do, and it's so simple, and everybody can do it. And you don't have to worry about having to sing or having a good voice. You could hum in the car, you could hum in the shower, on your way to work. And it just sets the tone for your entire day, and you can take on stress and whatever's thrown at you.
Do you have a favorite song that you hum?
You know what's funny? I don't even hum, you don't even have to hum a tune. You could just, you just, like, om. Some people hum tunes. Like, it's funny. If you have a noise that's annoying you, that sometimes can be stressing, you can actually tone to it. And one of my favorite examples of his teacher, Dr. John Bouillot, who's been teaching this stuff for 50 years. Can you imagine that 50 years? Before anyone knew that it was a thing. He gives the example how if you're driving down the road and somebody blows a horn at you, you go like, right, you tense up. He goes, you have a choice. You can stay tense like this all day long with shoulders. So you go into work like, hey, because you're all stressed. Or you can take a deep breath in and go, honk, right back out. And what you're doing, you're actually getting that sound unstuck from your body. So not only is humming like a way of calming your nervous system, but if something else interrupts you, you can actually get the stress out of your body before it takes hold by making that noise back. So you could hum. Wow. And think about it, though. All this stuff we're born knowing to do. So if somebody frightens you, what do? You go, ah! Right? It's like we're supposed to make noise, but we're told to be quiet. And then we hold all that stuff in. And that's why we get sick.
That's amazing. And I have a friend who is a musician, music teacher, and she's always encouraged me to hum. Because I'm not a musician, I always think, what song can I hum? But I didn't think of just humming.
Yeah, and think about it. Do you ever see anybody that's grumpy humming? Like you never see someone humming and being in a bad mood.
I do run across people who are humming. I always look and see they seem like just happy people. Wow.
And one causes the other too. So even if you're not happy at the moment, by humming you will be. It's also like there was a website out of it. It was called iskip.com. And they were saying that if you're really depressed, if you get outside and skip like a little kid, like the rhythm of that skip, you can't stay mad. It's hysterical. And I tried it. The funny thing is I hadn't skipped in like 50 years. It's like, it is hard to do to try to get the rhythm. And you laugh, and it's just so much fun. So it's another thing, like just going outside and skipping, like just like the rhythm and moving your body like that. It just snaps you out of no matter what you're going through.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I just picture my neighbors going, what's she doing?
What's she doing now? She's really lost it now.
You got to this because of an interruption. You want to tell us about your interruption?
Yes, I had a big one. I was a caregiver for, oh my God, it was almost like 15 years. And I saw 3 family members through hospice. My dad with cancer, my brother-in-law with cancer, and my mom with dementia. And I did not have time to grieve in between each one. As soon as one got better, my mom moved in with me, dementia. And actually, simultaneously, my sister's husband got sick, and I was taking care of her and him and my mom. So I used to joke. The only reason I didn't have a nervous breakdown, there was no time. There was like, not on the agenda. I had to keep going. And I got through all of that. And I thought, oh my God, I made it. I'm doing like really good. One night, started to get stressed because my sister had another little emergency. And I'm like, oh no, here I go again. She's telling me, you're going to have to do this, you're going to have to do that, and blah, blah, blah. And her dog had to go in for surgery. And she was telling me all the things I needed to do for the dog. The next morning, I literally woke up paralyzed from the neck down. And I kind of feel like it was the universe saying, you've done enough. You don't learn. Like, you just keep going, going, going. So we're going to stop you so you can rest. And I had known that I had been diagnosed with lupus like 8 years before that. And the doctor had told me, I'll never forget this. He said, well, you look healthy. He goes, your numbers are kind of bad. He goes, but as long as you don't get stressed, you'll be fine. As long as I don't get stressed. Now, in that, like in a block of 10 years, I was diagnosed with the lupus. My dad was diagnosed with colon cancer, esophageal cancer. He had to have emergency back surgery. My mom was diagnosed with dementia. And my husband got a 25-year-old girlfriend. So to say I was a little bit stressed.
Yeah, just don't get stressed. No big deal.
Just a little bit. And this is what happens. The body keeps the score. There's a book out called The Body Keeps the Score. All this stuff, it builds up and it takes its toll on you. My body just crashed. Luckily, I had an immune doctor. I had the rheumatoid doctor. My sister and her husband literally carried me out of the house. I was frozen in bed. It was the strangest thing. I felt like I was in some kind of nightmare because nothing moved. It felt like someone poured crazy glue on my joints. And when I tried to crack my arm open, it felt like they were going on fire. And I was literally rocking back and forth, trying to get something to hinge so I could get out of bed. It took me about 4 hours. And then I got up and I was so swollen, I couldn't dial the phone. I couldn't turn the doorknob. And I remember calling my sister and I could barely talk. And she goes, open the door. And I'm like, I'm upstairs. And she goes, slide down the stairs. But I couldn't bend my knees or get anything to go. And it's this horrifying thing. I was staring down the stairs. So how am I going to do this? And she's like, well, do you want me to call the police? They could break down the door. And I'm like, I don't want anyone to do that. And I did make it down. But I just remember us screaming, whatever you step going, screaming as you're going down. They took me. He said, yeah, because you're having an acute lupus flare. I thought a flare would be a little stiffness. I didn't know your whole body goes into lockdown. And he put me on all this prednisone. He did not tell me at that moment I was going to be okay. He just gave me all this prednisone. I thought that was it. And I remembered my sister laid me on the couch and I was laying there thinking, what am I going to do? Because I was really pretty much alone. My sister was very busy with her husband. The other one was grieving over her husband and I was taking care of her. And I was laying on this couch, now what? Who's going to take care of me? That nobody can take care of me. And after about 10 hours of being on the prednisone, all of a sudden you can move again. So this was the miracle thing about prednisone, because I will never because I always say don't take any drugs. If you're in a crisis like that, you have to take it. But then you need to get off of it because later on it enlarges your heart, it does all these things. But in a crisis, you do need that. So they gave me that. They got everything down. And he told me you're going to have to go on immune suppressants for the rest of your life if you don't want that to happen. I was scared. And I was always a natural person. I didn't even take an aspirin. So I go home and I'm looking at this bottle. I call him up. I'm not taking this. And he goes, why? I said, it says it causes blindness. And he goes, that almost rarely never happens. No, because I was more terrified of going blind. They're like, well, I want to walk and see. Is that wrong? I want both. Is that asking for too much? I want to be able to see where I'm walking. And I was really lucky. I found a great naturopathic doctor. I was getting acupuncture, doing all this stuff. I got about 80% better with diet. I cut out sugar and gluten, all the fun things in life. I cut them all out. So I got about 80% better. But I had severe brain fog and crippling fatigue where I couldn't even get out of bed. And my life felt over because I'm thinking, I can't even work. He said, if you don't take all these pills, you're going to have to go on disability. You're just going to steadily get worse. You're going to, probably need a wheelchair. He told me all this horrible stuff. And I'm like, oh, my God. But I was about 80% better. The brain fog, I lost my whole zest for life. I was creative. I used to sculpt and do all these things. And I never knew if I'd be able to have energy to do anything. And by luck, my friend invited me to a healing convention. I was afraid to go out because I never knew when something was going to hit. Because I used to say it's like you're walking around, you feel normal. And lupus to your body is like kryptonite to Superman. It's like it comes on sudden, all of a sudden it's like, boom, your energy is gone. So I'm at this thing, that's exactly what happens. It's one of those kryptonite moments. And I'm like, no, I was afraid I was going to pass out. And I was looking around. And there's a guy in the back with a massage table. And I remember thinking, I don't care what that guy's doing over there. I got to lay down on that table. So I barely made it to the table. And I get there and he hands me a microphone. And I'm like, what? I just want to lay down. No, just... he asked me a couple of questions, was talking to the microphone. So I talk into the microphone, he puts me on this table, gives me a little headset. As soon as the music started playing, I felt like all the unprocessed grief and anxiety and all the stuff that I didn't have time to process is being like lifted out of my head with it, like in sound bubbles. It's like being thrown out. My shoulder's always like this from like all the stress because I was always running to the hospital and all this stuff. And the table had speakers underneath it, so it began to vibrate. And as the music came up into my whole body, this one, whoosh, my shoulders came down. And after 20 minutes, I sat up and I was like, what just happened? Because the first time in my life, my head was clear. Because I always had so much stuff in my head, I couldn't relax. And I even fell asleep on the table for 20 minutes in the middle of this big convention thing, which I could never do. And I had passed out and just like, my head feels clear. And I feel like like someone just put fresh batteries in. Like, I just feel like, and he goes, well, when I had you talking to the microphone, I took a recording of your voice. Your voice is the composite of all the frequencies in your body. I just found out what you were lowing, and I played it back to you on the table. Frequencies and nutrients for your body. And it was like this light bulb. I'm like, oh my God. If this was a movie, it would have been like, ah! Like, I was like, this was like the missing link because I knew that we were biochemical. I didn't know we were electric. I didn't know we were magnetic. And I didn't know we were light. And when you put all that back into your body, it's kind of like the analogy I always think of. It's if you go to the mechanic, say your battery's dead, go into the mechanic with a dead battery and they change your tires, they give you new gas, they give you new engine, they do all these things, but they don't replace the battery. You're not going anywhere. It's the same thing with us. You go to the doctor, they said, oh, like there's something wrong with your heart. We're going to give you this medicine. We're going to give you that medicine. But they don't give you your life force, which is your energy. And that's what sound does. It literally charges you up. And that was like my big, ah. And then he hands me 2 CDs, because back in the day we were still using CDs, with the music he'd play to me, and this list. On the list, it was telling me the colors to wear, the essential oils to smell, the gemstones that resonated in my frequency, even the colors to look at. So you were told the colors to wear, the colors to look at. And I was in this big vending area. Best prescription ever, because it's telling me I felt like buy something to wear, right? So I needed the color green, so I bought a beautiful green silk scarf. And I needed essential oils, so I bought peppermint oils. And then I needed musical instruments in my note. And I saw this giant singing bowl in my note. And I always wanted one of those. And I'm like, doctor's orders. So I bought this giant singing bowl. And because I felt so strong, the guy wanted to hold it. I'm like, no, hold it. So I was walking around, and I felt like a kid trick-or-treating, because that's where I put the scarf, and that's where I put the essential oils. And I was going around, like, loading it up. They even had rough-cut emeralds over there. And emerald was a stone I needed. And they were cheap. I'm like, oh, my God. So I got the emerald.
You do not need to be famous to start a podcast. You just need a story, a message, or a business that deserves to be heard. Inside Podcrafter, I help women turn their experience into influence with simple podcast tools, real support, and live office hours twice a month. Because podcasting isn't about shouting the loudest. It's about creating connection, building authority, and making an impact. I'm Lori Hardy, and I'd love to help you finally launch the podcast that's been sitting in your heart.
And that's why I put the essential oils, and I was going around, like, loading it up. They even had rough-cut emeralds over there, and emerald was a stone I needed, and they were cheap. I'm like, oh, my God. So I got the emerald. And the guy even threw in my first, 2 tuning forks. He put them in a little red pouch. He goes, you're going to be needing those. And he threw them in. And I looked into this bowl, and it's like this aha moment. I went, I want to be a sound therapist. Even though I had no idea what it was. I always tell people the wonderful thing about sound is that when you are in this vibration, you always hear about manifesting things. Well, vibration plus intention equals manifestation. So here I was in this great vibration, and I declared, I want to be a sound therapist. And everything happened that I needed to make me a sound therapist. First off, I bought all the stuff that I needed there, which was great. I ordered the sound table and everything, which I wasn't sure how I was going to pay for. I put everything on a credit card. And when I got home, I had gotten a check from my insurance company that I wasn't expecting. So that covered it. And the place where I was going for acupuncture, I was going almost every day because I was in so much pain. And I love this. It was a chiropractor's office, had an opening for one of their rooms. And I told her what I had done. And she said, oh, my God, you look amazing. She goes, I'd love to have you join my team. And I got this beautiful office with all these big windows. And that's why I put the sound table, and everything just boom, boom, boom lined up. So I was so excited. That main interruption caused this amazing new life for me. Because I went from being oh, my God. At that point, I was 52. I was 52 when I felt like my life was over. I'm like, now what? No one's going to hire me. I'm 52 years old. I don't even know if I can get out of bed. And prior to that, I was a sculptor. And my hands had been all crippled up, so I had to stop sculpting. I'm like, what am I going to do? No one's going to use me. And once I found sound therapy, my entire life changed. And what I love about sound is I am never bored. I am in such like wonder and awe every day because every time I learn something new, I'm just completely I want to say in awe. I'm just like so happy with all the great science coming out about it and how all the stuff actually works. And it really is magic. It's pure magic. And we all have this in us. And that's why I like it.
Yes. And it made you so happy. And before then, had you felt kind of like my life is over?
I did. I was like, oh my God, because now like I'm divorced. I'm all alone. My parents are dead. Like everybody's gone in my life. My sister was grieving the loss of her husband. And my other sister was very busy with her husband. They had a business and they were all over the place. So I really felt not only alone, but also responsible for taking care of my other sister. So it was very like, oh my God, I need the strength to take care of her. And how am I going to support myself? What am I going to, and it was really scary. And then like sound came in and gave me this whole new life and career and passion.
How were you received when, I mean, like you got this office? Did you start getting people right away, or were they at first like skeptical?
It was kind of weird. And luckily, like, because she's been there 35 years, this is what I like too, because it was like, oh, work out of your home. I'm like, no. It's, the weird thing is I keep thinking about my teachers that were doing this 50 years ago, right? Can you imagine back then? But even back then, this was like 10 years ago, it really was kind of, woo-woo. And people didn't really get it. That's why, like, in the beginning, I came in, like, I have all the equipment, so it looks very sci-fi, right? Because I have all these frequency gadgets. And then when I went in, so it looked more medicinal. Like, it didn't look, like, woo. I didn't bring out the tuning forks till I had been on the table a couple of times. I didn't do any of that stuff. But when I took my first sound healing class, that's actually when I learned about all that other stuff. I just thought sound therapy was all equipment. And the first class, the teacher came out, because I signed up for this, it was a 3-year-long degree program. And she comes out and she goes, of all the tools in your sound healing toolbox, your voice is the most important. And I'm like, what? I just spent like 30 grand. You should tell me that a little bit sooner. But what I love about that is that sound therapy is for everybody because we're born with everything we need. And that's a voice. Everybody can hum. Everybody can tone. And toning is not even singing a note. You just have to sing like a letter of the alphabet, one of the vowels. And that is healing. So you don't need any musical ability. And so that's why I started the frequency fun shops. Because I show people just by humming and toning and shaking and screaming and like honking, at cars and doing all these silly things, you stay with, it like builds up your vagus nerve. And your vagus nerve is what controls your stress response. The best way I heard it explained, and I love this analogy, they said your vagus nerve, if you think about like the cord on your toaster oven as compared to the cord on maybe your washer and dryer, the thicker the cord, the longer the appliance is going to last. And it's the same thing with a vagus nerve. It's got a sheath around it. And when you do these exercises, it actually builds it. And that makes you more resistant to outside stress. So when people say vagal toning, I didn't understand that concept, but now I do. You're actually building the strength. So now you're more resilient to stress. So all these practices keep you like, either stress-free or when it does happen, you can snap back faster. And that's the main thing we need to stay healthy. Had I known this, I wouldn't have gotten lupus. So that's why, like, I want to teach everybody how to do this. And then once you get sick, that's when, like, you need more. Like, I'm helping people now with lupus because I know a lot about frequency devices and the diet and all that other stuff. But I want to help people before that so they don't get that. And it's so easy. Yeah. Like, if 5 minutes a day could really change your life.
That is so incredible. I know that this helps for any kind of illness, probably, but the focus on lupus. And I think often when people get these diagnoses with lupus it feels like a life curse. It feels like, oh, I have to live with this. And to think that there is healing and help and hope is just incredible.
Well, this is one of the things I like to teach people because it's a label. So, and I learned this the hard way. They tell you like, oh, I had actually 2 autoimmune diseases. I had lupus and Sjogren's. The way he explained it to me is that your body's eating itself. Right. And so I'm picturing Pac-Man inside my body. And I'm thinking, oh, my God. And so, first of all, that puts you in this state of fear. Like, oh, my God. So you can't heal when you're in fear. You have to be relaxed to heal. So when you're in fear, that's like strike one against you right now. You're not going to heal. If you think your body's being eaten, you're not going to heal. And then I had a friend that was a brilliant, like, Chinese medicine doctor and acupuncturist. But he wasn't he wasn't like the most compassionate person when he would talk. And he's just mentioning, because I at that point I was like, I have lupus. So I was labeled as having lupus. That became my new identity because I had lost my identity. I could no longer do anything. So I have lupus. It's the worst thing you do is claim a disease. So he tells me, That's just a label. You don't have lupus. He goes, it's a yin deficiency. It's nothing. Now, he was actually right. But at that moment in time, I was crippled and in pain. And I saw that he wasn't seeing me or acknowledging my pain, or he was like brushing me off that there was nothing wrong with me. All the pain was real. It's just that the label is wrong. They're saying that you have a disease when really your body is so exhausted, it can't repair its own cells. So your body is too weak to repair itself. And that's why it seems like it's eating itself, but you just don't have the energy. And one of the things I had learned, I didn't know digestion was a very big process. So I had to eat little tiny meals because my body didn't have the energy to digest it. So it's all about energy management. But you have to be very careful. Like, that's why I've realized I really need to help people with lupus, because it's one thing now you're claiming it as a disease. You're labeled, I have lupus. You're saying my lupus. Yeah. And then even when you find out the good news that it's not really a disease, it's a label. But when you hear, then you feel like they're saying there's nothing wrong with you, get over it. But it's not that you don't have something. Your body crashed. Your body crashed and it's exhausted. It's not a disease. Your body just needs to be balanced. It needs to be recharged and needs to be nourished.
Well, I love that you brought that up, because I feel like that is so important what you said, because people, when they say, well, it's energy or whatever, it's almost like negating that I have something, and yet you don't want to claim it, but you want to be seen and heard. This is real.
It's real. So, it's real. Your body can't heal, and it's a real pain, but it doesn't have a disease. The body is trying to repair itself, and it's giving you warnings like, hey, nourish me, not fill me with drugs that are going to make me worse. Nourish me. And I just heard a woman speak, and it infuriated me, because she went to 80 doctors before they diagnosed that she had lupus, and they told her that there was nothing wrong with her. Meanwhile, she couldn't walk. She had burning pain. Her whole life had crashed, and they're saying, oh, that's not showing there's nothing wrong with you, because they need to do a specific test. And it's just like, but I don't know how they don't understand that people are exhausted. In this day and age, how do they not recognize that? It just boggles the mind. So I want to show people how easy you can, it's better to start now when you don't have anything. This way, if you do a couple little sound things a day, like humming, toning, all these little things, you can resist stress. Your nervous system reflects your health. So if you can keep that nervous system calm and humming, you're going to be healthy. If you're running around stressed like we all are, we're on the phones, we have computer appointments, like we're always multitasking. There's no downtime anymore. None at all. So the brain's always processing, we're not resting, and we just, shh. And my dog is confirming that.
Yes.
Need to rest, Aji.
Do you use tone and humming with your dog? I mean, she would hear you.
I am trying. I'm trying very hard he's still a puppy. And I'm thinking, oh, I really want to hum and get him to listen. It's like 50-50 right now. I haven't gotten it yet. I have to find this is one of the keys. You have to find like the right tone. Like when I hit on it, every now and then I hit it. I'm like, oh, I got to see what note that is. And I have to like measure it, and then I'll be able to replicate it.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. So if somebody was to work with you, I call you up and I say, I want sound therapy. What's your process? What do you do?
Well, the first thing, I give everybody the sound frequency test, because that takes all the guesswork out of it. So this will show you exactly what you're low in. Then I give you the notes, the colors, like it's like a list of all the things, the gemstones you need. And it even has the foods and supplements listed on it too. So it tells you what you should eat. It gives you some personality traits that maybe you're an overachiever and now you need to relax more. So it gives you like I call it like a blueprint of everything you need. And I provide the music, and I go through, we kind of figure out what works for you, because there's so many different ways to implement sound. Some people want to hum. Some people like to use tuning forks. Some people like the frequency devices, like there were sound tables, there were meditation cushions that vibrate. I have like just about every frequency device out there. So I can by working with you, I'm like, okay, you're going to like this one. And the way I do it's like what fits into your lifestyle. So when you want to say what's going to work for me, it's the thing you're going to use. And I learned this with my sisters, because both my sisters are pains in the butt with all this stuff. I would find these things. I had this really great red light machine, and wraps around. It's called a flex beam. And my sister had back pain. I'm like, this is really great. You just wrap it around, but it's got to go up against your skin. And you can't have a shirt over it, because then it cuts off the fan. So she's like, oh, but I have to get undressed to use it. I'm like, yeah, but it works really great. No, I'm not using that. And then I had another little red light thing. I don't want to wear the goggles. I have a PEMF mat. This is my easiest one. I love it. I'm like, Joanne, you just have to lay on it. Can you lay down on it and do nothing? And I'm like, yes, she can do that.
Oh, wow.
And then there's singing bowls. So it's like, so I find out what you're going to work with and what you're passionate about. And you're going to like wake up and say, oh, I can't wait to do that.
I love that it's not cookie cutter.
Yeah, not at all. Everybody's different.
So is it like one session and follow up, or what does it look like? Just one meeting?
I like to do, I used to just do everything in one session. And then I realized I was so excited. I tell everybody everything at once. And they walked home like,
overwhelmed.
yeah, I get so excited. I want to show you everything. I was like, oh my God, they have to know everything now. So now I do it over 6 weeks. And okay. I do the test, right? And so we spend like one class together, one session. And then I make it like a group. And this way everybody can compare notes. And then I'll teach everybody, today we're going to hum. We're going to do the toning. We're going to work with tuning forks. And then we all play and we find out. I also have an office. I do this live and online. And we find out, what's fun for you. What's something you can picture yourself doing all the time.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's so incredible. Do you have a preference of live and online?
I still love live because you still feel energy online. You still can feel a lot of energy online. But when you're in a group, then like you're all like, you're actually physically handling it. I still love live.
Yeah.
I have a lot of fun online too, though. You can have so many more people. That's what's really great. You can have like a big crowd.
And from anywhere.
Yeah. And from anywhere. That's it. So I can reach more people this way.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is when that started too, because of COVID, see, that's what I'm saying. I'm always in awe of all the stuff I'm learning with sound therapy. I was studying with Dr. John Bouillot. He's been doing this for 50 years. And I thought the distance stuff, I'm like, I don't know about that. Sounds a little wookie. I don't know. So I raised my hand in class. I'm like, what do you think about, all this distance healing stuff? Like, how do you feel about that? Because I wanted like from someone, he's a naturopathic doctor, a psychiatrist. He's been doing this for 50 years. And he goes, he goes, I don't like it. And I'm thinking, finally someone that's going to admit that this maybe doesn't work. It's a little, and he goes, it implies distance. There is no distance. And I'm like, and it made like total sense. Like when he said that, I'm like, oh my God, it like opened up a whole new world. And that's why, like I said, I'm so excited about sound because you realize it really does travel and we really are all connected.
Yeah.
So it's a big magical world that I didn't know existed before.
It really is. And for me, working in radio, it's frequency. It's like, and we can do the internet now, but still local radio is local. And the only way it is not local is when other stations power down and they go a little farther. But so frequency to me makes total sense.
And that's how you can tune in. Like when you hear a lot of people talking about manifestation. They said you have to tune into the channel you want. So there's like, the grumpy station, right? He's just grumpy all day long. But that's why I say joyous and found is tuned into. We have that choice, So if you're thinking happy thoughts and I know it's like people say, oh, it's so cliche now, but gratitude. The more grateful you are, it is pure magic. It just opens up the world to you. The more grateful you are.
When my kids were little, I read a book, talked about having a gratitude journal. And I remember I had to write 3 things a day, and it was excruciating. It was excruciating to think of 3 things because I was in kind of a tough situation. But then when I started to realize it became easier every day, and I kept that up. And then I started working with the homeless women, and I would come home and I would be thankful for the chair I was sitting on. I was thankful for a meal, a pillow, a bath.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden things really changed. And gratitude really is, it doesn't necessarily change your situation, but it changes the way you see things. You can still be in a very difficult situation and find gratitude.
And then being in that happier mood, too, just brings better things to you.
Definitely. Definitely. This has been so amazing. I love talking with you. How can people find you?
Oh, come every Friday. I do a frequency fun shop at noon Eastern time. Everybody's invited. It's complimentary. And I can give you the link for that.
Okay.
In the show notes.
Sure.
And I'm on Facebook, SueZee Finley. And
so you go by SueZee, but
so what happened when I did my Facebook, I did it as Susan, and then later on I was like, oh, you should have put your nickname there. So my LinkedIn is SueZee, but I think Facebook, I don't think you can change it. Can you go back and change that? I don't know because I have so many followers now. I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't know. I will have to look into that.
You can start over, but you can. But come to the Frequency Fun Shop. They're every Friday, noon Eastern time, and then from there I'll get you a mailing your email address, and then I can update you on other things that are going on. So that's the easiest way. And then you'll get to see what I do, and it truly is fun.
Awesome. Well, SueZee, this has been so informational and for me, really exciting. I asked you about your affiliate links to get tuning forks, but I'm looking forward to going to your Friday workshop. Before we go, what is it you really, really want us to know?
That our health is actually in our hands. Our health and happiness is all up to us. And it really is easy to maintain. I'm going to keep saying this because it sounds silly, but when you hum, it regulates your nervous system, and it's all about self-regulation. And you have total control of that. And when your nervous system is completely regulated, that's when you can find out from your body what's going on. So if there's something off, your body knows how to heal it. But you have to be in a place of calm and peace to heal. When you're in fear, you can't heal. When you're in fear, you can't make good decisions. So we need to get into that calm, harmonious place, and the body has this inner wisdom that you can activate. So that's the most important thing you can do. Because when we're flying around like this, and I know because I've always been like this, I still have a little bit left from all the stress. I have to tune multiple times a day because I have all that family stress. But when you get that calm, your body knows how to heal, knows everything. But you just need that quiet so you can hear it and the body can do it.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. And the more I work with women, the more I see so many of us operate from fear, and that's what blocks success. I work with so many entrepreneurs, and that can be scary, like trying to make money. But also, I really recognize the times that I take to, like, I just went on my first vacation in many, many years, and I chose to not worry, not think about work. I contacted everyone ahead of time, said, you won't be able to reach me, which they could if they needed to. But I wanted to just absolutely relax. I wanted to lay in a chair in the sun and not say, oh, I need to go do some editing, or that really spoke to me about how important it is to really find that place. And now I'm going to be humming even more.
And coming to my fun shops.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. This is so much fun. I'm so glad that I got to meet you and talk with you.
Me too.
Big kiss to you. Mwah. Big hug to you. Hugging is another great energy thing. Hug.
I love it.
Next time, Uninterrupted.
You hear our generation cuts out a lot of their parents. There's this whole going no contact thing, but there is some origin. And for people who have toxic or narcissistic parents who, in this case, made my loss about them and how I was impacting them.
If you love this podcast, here's a big ask. Will you share with your friends and family, subscribe, give us a review, and a 5-star rating so that others looking to reinvent their lives will be able to get the help they're looking for? Thank you in advance.